Shalom everyone. We are on our Musar class from the book of Orchot Tzaddikim. We are in the middle of the gate of anger, and the topic of today is anger, reject, rebuke. What does that mean? Before that, I want to dedicate this Torah class to my aunt, Mazal Shlom Tzion Bat Shula Salama. And every other name you want to mention, we'll dedicate this Torah class for Refuah Shalema, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף מהרה. We trust Hashem that the power of Torah can do a wonder. Okay, we've learned last time that a man of anger does not overlook things. He does not forgive. He's always revenge. Fights back. He can't let go things. We've learned also that if you have anger in you, you have avodah zarah. It's compared to avodah zarah. It's compared to idol worshipping. Why? Because you think right now you are the king over your body. You control things and you're going to respond, which means there is no God in the world, there's no king. And if you also understand that things happen for a reason, so why are you upset? Calm down, chill out, drink some cold water, and think why this happened. What happened right now? Because something I did. I deserve it probably. Someone is running this world, and it's not you. But being angry, being upset, is rejecting this idea. The Ari HaKadosh says that when someone angry, immediately ruach tum'ah, a spirit of impurity, come upon him, and all the zechuyot, or the merits, or the mitzvot, or the great deed he had, left leaving him. He is unprotected now. Because when you're angry, it rejects the power that protects you, the light, the aura, and impurity power comes, very bad energy comes on you, and now you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable for many bad things. Anger is very bad. How can we control anger? First thing we said, silence. Don't talk. Don't respond. We'll give an example or two in a minute. Bavakasha. Can you sit closer? So we can play with this. We're going to read at the bottom of page 239.
Anger blots out one's concentration in prayer, and the Shekhinah does not repose itself in the midst of anger.
Why? You're an angry person. You go into the Bet Knesset to daven, to ask Hashem for all your needs, and from Shamayim they don't listen to you. Basically, you're wasting your time. Your tefillah doesn't go through. You're an angry person. No one's like to hear and listen to an angry person, especially in Shamayim. Keep the anger outside of the Bet Knesset, outside of the shul, outside of your life if you can. But I'm born like that. My father was short-tempered. I have a short fuse. Okay, I'm glad that you know your defaults, errors. Now it's time to fix it. Many people don't know that they are in such a bad situation. Go ahead.
The angry man will not be very wise, for the anger drives wisdom from one's heart.
Stop.
So
it happens even to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was angry over a whole group of soldiers. Many years ago, they were about to go to the land of Israel. The last war was against Midian. So they collected 12,000 people, 1,000 to each tribe, except of Levi. Okay? It was 13 tribes eventually, right? Who knows the tribes? Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zevulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Yosef or Binyamin, but Yosef is Ephraim and Menashe. So it's 13. Levi never participated. They have a different role. Anyway, 12,000 going to a great war against Midian. Midian was a great warriors. And what happened? the people of Israel, the Bnei Israel, came victorious with spoil, booty, a lot of good stuff. There was miracles. Nobody dies. Nobody gets even wounded. 12,000 come back. It's unbelievable. Moshe saw them, and he see that they brought with them a lot of women as prisoners. These women, many of them participated in a grave scene just not long ago, with the flea market and pursuing after them, after the Jews, to make a scene, and the people of Israel made a scene with them. A plague came, and 24,000 died. Moshe see the soldiers coming back, and look at the prisoners, and they're very upset. What is this? Why did you bring them? It was the norm of those days. When you go to a war against a village or a city, you take everything with you. You just leave a burning ground. That's it. Nothing left. You take people as a slave, as a servant, whatever. So Moshe was very upset. These are the very women that you made a sin with. And then you bring them to the camp. Someone raised a question about the dishes that they brought. They brought wagons full of silverware and pots made out of copper and silver and gold. A lot of it. Now they don't want to know if they can eat using this silverware. Is it to be kosher? Yes, they eat pork with it. How we kosher it? What do we do with this? So they asked Moshe, what do we do with these dishes? And Moshe was so upset. He just told them, he forgot the halacha. Eliezer immediately stepped in and he said the halacha. Everybody noticed that Eliezer answered instead of Moses. And the Talmud teaches us that you can be the greatest rabbi, you can be the greatest tzaddik, but when you're angry, you'll forget your Torah. It's that bad. Moshe, after that, he come down and he understands. Of course, he's the one that taught Eliezer. He's the one who taught Eliezer. But if you're angry, you put yourself in a very bad position to the degree that you'll forget halachot. Simple halacha. Everybody knows how to kosher utensils. And then they dip it in the mikveh. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that he will not be able to answer correctly or reprove correctly, and none of his words will be reasonable. The angry man hardens himself to reproof and chastisement, for no one is allowed to reveal to him his mistakes and his ugly ways. Everyone is afraid to speak to him of his affairs, lest he arouse his anger.
What's the problem here? The problem is that if you are here to rectify something that is bad, you never be able to, because people are afraid to tell you what's wrong with you. It was a guy that came to a Rebbe and says, Rabbi, I have a hot temper. I have a short fuse. How can I fix it? Whatever you tell me, Rabbi, I'm going to do. The Rabbi says, okay, I give you the magic box. Use this magic box, it'll save you. Magic box? What is this? I never heard. Where I'll buy it? So no. Just come here with any small box that you like. Any box? Yeah, can bring from home. So this guy has a cookie jar. He didn't use it for a long time. He brought it to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe took the jar and he put inside a note. He put in a note a few verses, Pesukim, and he put a ball. So you have to put in the hand to take out the ball. It'll take you some time. It's a struggle of a few seconds or a minute, but it takes some time. Close it, and then it says, go home. Put it in the closet in a very high shelf. Lock this closet and put this key in another part of the house. Do you remember where? Wow, Rebbe, this is a new segula. This is magic. What's going to happen? He says, I'll tell you now. Next time you get upset, you don't respond before. You go home, you take the bowl, you take the note, you read what in it, you put it back, everything. The note, the bowl, you close, you put it back in the shower. Come on. Then you respond to the incident. What do you think happened? He got upset. But he remembered what the Rebbe told him. The Rebbe told me I have to do. So he went home. He says, I'll answer you. Someone got him upset. I will tell you in a minute. Just give me a few minutes. He went back home. Then he was able to find the key that he left the very other day. I forgot where it is, but he found it. And then he went to the closet and he opened it. And then, by the time he did all that, he already cooled down. And he never got back to the other person. And then he understand what the Rabbi told him. Every time it happens to him, after a while, he become a very calm person. It's a simple trick that actually teaches you, don't respond right on the spot. Take your time. How people used to say, count to 10, right? Go sleep on it. Chill out. Time is the best healer. Time is the best doctor. Time heals wounds. And time can heal anger. Right.
Everyone is afraid to speak to him of his affairs lest he arouse his anger, and even if someone does offer him reproof, he will reject it in anger. In sum, the angry man will not accept any good trait if he does not remove anger from his heart. And just as the angry man cannot accept chastisement from others, so he cannot administer it to them. For the Torah has written in Vayikra 19:17, reprove your friend, and do not bear sin because of him.
Okay, so there's someone. You have two friends. One always compliment you, always tap on your shoulder, give you a great compliment. The second friend compliment you, but many times they give you a rebuke, giving you a hard time. You shouldn't do this, you should do that. Rebuke and rebuke, rebuke. Which one you should like? The one that gives you compliments all the time, or the one that rebukes you? Which means the first or the second? The compliments?
No, the other one.
The rebuke, of course. That's what the Torah says. That's what the Rabbi teaches in the Talmud. Because the one who gives a rebuke, he tells you the truth to your face. It fixes you, it makes you better. You should embrace such a friend that gives the truth right to your face. Because you're going to be better. You're going to fix your ways. Go ahead.
In the beginning, reprove him gently and in private, telling him softly and ingratiatingly, so that you are speaking to him for his benefit. If you do so, you will not bear sin because of him. But if you rebuke him in the beginning in a loud, angry voice, and you shame him, then you will bear sin because of him, and that friend will not accept reproof from you.
Okay. The title of the shiur, this class, is Anger Rejects Rebuke. Because if you're angry, nobody wants to tell you the truth. No one wants to rebuke you. And even if someone rebukes you, you will reject it. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Always with your nonsense. They're telling you the truth to your face. You should love these people. But the one that rebuke, a rebuke is something that everyone has to do. But you cannot do it. If you don't do it, you make a sin. But if you do it in front of other people, it's another sin. So when I do your rebuke, first rule is that you be good in that part. You can rebuke someone that eats cheeseburger and you eat cheeseburger yourself. You've been hypocrite. You can rebuke someone that doesn't go to davening but Knesset and you don't do it yourself. So you need to be perfect in that area. Secondly, you take him aside, or you take the right opportunity and tell him, listen, I'm telling you as a friend, it's good for you. It's not like you. You are here and you're acting like that. It's not for you. I don't want to say it before other people. It's between you and I. People will appreciate it. Most of the people will appreciate it. If you know that this guy will accept rebukes from you, if you want to accept it, don't tell. It's better not to say anything. The same as that there is a mitzvah to say, there's many times mitzvah not to say. Yes, it's a mitzvah not to say. Because by rebuking a person that is a little bit cuckoo, or someone that will not accept, you just make a fun of you, the Torah, and the Torah scholars, and just make it worse. And his sin will be much greater. So you need to know to whom you're talking to.
For this is the way of men. When one man bears down strongly on another, the latter stiffens and stands up against him and does not submit. About this, Shlomo had said in Kohelet 9:17, the words of the wise uttered gently are accepted.
Gently, softly, they will listen to you. Go ahead.
We are familiar with this instance of Hillel and Shammai, about whom the three converts said in Shabbos 31a, the unyieldingness of Shammai was like to drive us out of the world, and the humility of Hillel brought us under the wings of the Shekhinah.
Right. Shammai, I want to say had short fuse, but he was very strict. Gerim came to him to do conversion. And one of them says, Rabbi, teach me the whole Torah when I'm standing on one leg. So you're making fun of Torah? Get out of here. The other guy came to Hillel, another Rosh Yeshiva, head of Yeshiva, and said, Rabbi, teach me the whole Torah when I'm standing on one leg. Meaning, make it short and brief. So Hillel says, of course, come sit down. And then he told them, Ma shesanu alech, lechavrach lo ta'avid. He said, whatever you don't want it to happen to you, don't do it to your friend. This is about the Torah. The rest is laws that connected to this halacha. This guy go home and anything. What does that mean? It's more halachot. They come back again and again and again till he become a great scholar. Short. What's the word? Okay. So these three guys came to Shammai. Shammai rejected them. They become great scholars. They become convert to Judaism, and then they Hillel, with his patience, he helped them so they become great converts and great scholars, and they had great families, emerged to Torah, and so forth and so on. Okay.
Hillel, because of his great humility, could not be brought to anger. For one who keeps himself from anger acquires the trait of humility and of mercy. For cruelty proceeds from anger, as it is written in Shimon 22:23. And I will be angry, and I will kill you with the sword. And accordingly, anger is always found in conjunction with revenge, as in Devarim 11:17. And the anger of Hashem will burn against you, and he will close up the heavens.
Anger leads you nowhere. I will end this class with a very short story that happened many years ago to Rabbi Michal Mizlotchev. Rabbi Michal Mizlotchev, he was a great rabbi. He got a tefillin, very precious and expensive tefillin from his father, the rabbi. And he kept them and he saved them so much. Very rich people offered him a lot of money to buy this tefillin. It's tefillin of his father, the rabbi. He lived in a very modest house. And sometimes he got to the point that he had no food to eat in the house. But yet he would not sell the tefillin. Somehow he was able to manage. The rabbi. Sukkot came. Everybody is looking for Arbat Aminim. They were able to get everything but etrogim. In that cold area, it was very, very hard to get etrog. One day, very close to the holiday, maybe a day before, a merchant came and he brought a beautiful, beautiful etrog. Who can buy such etrog? It was very expensive. Nobody was able to. He went to the Rebbe, showed him the etrog. So I'm buying. How much is it? He mentioned a very high number. He said to him, you know what? I have something for you. I'll give you the tefillin. The precious tefillin. Give me the etrog. We'll exchange. You buy the tefillin, pay for that. Exchange. Wow. Such a great mitzvah. Can you imagine? The Rebbe is ready to do the mitzvah of the Hag for 8 days using this very special etrog that he was exchanging it with his precious tefillin that they offered him $50,000. I don't know how much was it there. For etrog, for only 8 days. But the Rebbe knew the value of the mitzvah of etrog. And he had no intention to skip this mitzvah that year. When he comes home, he places it on the table. He opened the Gemara, and he was ready, to study, looking at the etrog. He already had planned how many kavanot he's going to have in the tefillah. His wife stepped in. He looked at the Rabbi, Michal. She looked at the table, and she said, what is this? I said, what do you mean? I got etrog mehudar. This is great. Where did you get the money for it? She looked at where they're putting all the silverware and the menorah and the Chanukiah. She saw the tefillin is not there. You sold the tefillin to get this etrog? Rabbi Chal says, this is, he was saying, and she took the etrog, she beat it, she make it pasul, and she throw it on the table. Rav Michal look at her, look at the etrog, and he say, Hashem, Hashem, tefillin, I don't have. Etrog, I don't have. So what do you want to have? Anger? I'm not going to have even anger now. No anger. I'm not getting upset. At that night when he went to sleep, his father came to him in a dream, and he says, your action did a lot of rash in Shamayim. The second action was greater than the exchanging tefillin in the talk. The fact that you were silent and you didn't get angry was much greater than exchanging tefillin with the etrog. And the reward that's waiting for you in Shamayim is very great. This is the power of holding yourself from being angry, bringing blessing to your house. But Michal has all the reasons in the world to become angry. But he didn't. So what good is it? How the anger will help me? I want to wish each and every one of you guys that are watching this class to work on the trait of anger, to be good people, to do chesed, to be happy, and we should meet only in times of joy. God bless you all. On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank everybody that participated in this class. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see you soon next week. Same place, same